So I'm very excited because this week I get to play Bach's A minor Violin Concerto, which is such a famous, fantastic piece of music. I think it's really a bit of a pillar for all classical violinists. So there's a long history with this piece because as students, many of us start very young. When we learn to play violin, it could be anywhere from the age of 4, 5, 6, maybe earlier. But unfortunately, I started when I was quite late. I was about 12 years old when I started to play the violin. And so I was already familiar with Bach's Concerto in A minor, and I started to sort of develop this love of Baroque music. And because I started a bit late, I had a great set of teachers, and they pushed me through a lot of the Suzuki repertoire. And Suzuki's a very famous and popular method for learning violin when you're young, and Bach's A minor Concerto is such an important part of that repertoire. I think it comes in book 7 of the Suzuki method. And so I learnt it as part of this method or repertoire. And so I think it has this kind of interesting reputation as being a bit of a student concerto in that way. But when you look at the way this concerto was presented by Bach at the time, he was in the sort of latter end of his career, and in Germany he was overseeing the concert series in Zimmermann's coffee house. So you have to imagine a very cool audience full of highly trained professionals and also students who probably would have performed this piece under the direction of Bach, and a very caffeine-fueled, exciting concert. So I think that's really what I'm thinking about when I play this concerto. It's really just a joyous, fun, sometimes quite serious and wonderful piece of music to get into. And doing it on these period Baroque instruments, it's no longer a student concerto that I learnt when I was 14, 15. I'm approaching it from this kind of niche and very specific angle now, which is really a pleasure. And it also reminds me of a great record I used to have. My big brother gave me an LP. He just got a gramophone at the time, and it was so cool. I remember playing with this record, and it was a famous recording from, I think, around 1962 of David Oistrakh, very famous Russian violinist. So I think that was one of my earliest recordings I had, and I listened to it a lot, and I loved it. And of course, it was performed like an amazing big Russian romantic violinist. And then slowly I got more versions. I got a version by Nigel Kennedy on CD, and I listened to that over and over and over again. So suffice to say, it's one of my favorite pieces. So it's really a privilege and an honor to be able to perform this work with my wonderful friends and musicians in Pinchgut Opera.